I'm going to recap the Elite Eight up to the national title match for the NCAA tournament for Division I women's tennis. Now, I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. I will go into more detail what happened in the semifinals and the championship instead of all of them. It would just take a little too long here. So, the 1 seed Georgia did defeat 8 seed Duke 4-1, and you could tell if you want to know or not who won doubles. I will say Duke did, but they came out swinging right out of singles. So now the 5 seed North Carolina did defeat 13 seed LSU 4-2. I will say North Carolina did have a medical retirement at court 1, Reese Brentmeyer, and it was very unfortunate. And you'll know why when I go to the semifinal matches. Now, the 3 seed Michigan did defeat Oklahoma State 4-0. I knew that was probably the round that Michigan was going to probably win against Oklahoma State. It was the first Final Four for them in their program history on the women's side. The 2 seed Texas A&M did defeat Tennessee 4-2. Now, here's where I will go into more detail for these matches from here on out. So, in the first semifinal, and like when you go to the lineups and everything, North Carolina did not have Reese Brentmeyer. She would be the top singles player, and she would be in the doubles lineup. I don't remember where, but you get the whole picture here. So, Dasha Villanova and Mel Riasco won doubles, one over Susanna Maltby and Carson Tane-Gillig 6-3. Number 2, Giuliana or Gigi Grant and Anastasia Lopata beat Tatum Evans and Theodora Rabnin from North Carolina 6-2. I say goal Aysegul. Apologize if I butcher that. Mert and Hayden Mulberry was a DNF at 3 doubles against Alanis Hamilton and Lindsay Zink. They were down 3-5 in that match. Now, the first singles match that came off the board was Mel Riasco at number 3 against Alanis Hamilton 6-2, 6-3, 2-0 lead. And Gigi Grant from Georgia defeat Claire Hill 6-4, 6-1, so 3-0. And Dasha Villanova beat Theodora Rabnin 6-0, 6-4. Well, Anastasia Lopata at 2 against Tatum Evans from North Carolina was a DNF. But she won the first set 6-3 and up 5-1. So she was about to win. And Mert lost the first set for Georgia at number 4 against Carson Tane-Gillig. She lost first set 4-6, but it was like 4-all in the second. And Sofia Rojas at 6 was a DNF. Like, she won the first set 6-4, but was trailing 3-5 in the second. Now, so thus it was a 4-0 win for Georgia. Who were they going to face, you ask? In doubles, like the first, like number 1 doubles from Michigan, Lily Jones and Jessica Bernales defeated Mary Stoyana and Mia Cooper 6-4, So it had to come down to the last two doubles courts if A&M was going to win the doubles point. The next doubles match was off the board with Lexington Reed and Darius Mendikoff from Texas A&M defeat Reese Miller and Julia Fliegner 6-4. So it came down to three doubles. And Nicole Kieran and Luciana Perez from Texas A&M won at 3 against Papa Charney and Emily Sartez Lund 7-5, so 1-0 lead for Texas A&M. I will say the first singles match that came off the board was Lexington Reed at number 6 against Jessica Bernales 7-5, 6-0. Then number 4 from Michigan won. Emily Sartz Lund defeated Luciana Perez 6-2, 6-4. Then Mia Kupris at 3 for Texas A&M did defeat Lily Jones 6-4, 7-6, 7-3 in the tiebreaker in its second set. So basically Michigan had to win everything else to go to the final. Simply put, that was not the case, because at number 2 singles, Nicole Kieran from Texas A&M did defeat Piper Charney 5-7, 6-3, 6-1. Now, Mary Stoyana at 1 was a DNF against Julia Fliegner. She lost Mary Stoyana lost the first set 4-6, but won the second 6-3, and she was up 5-1. So she was going to win. And the only other unfinished was Darius Mendikoff against Reese Miller. Daria lost the first set 3-6, but won the second set 7-6. I don't know. It didn't say what happened in the tiebreaker. You could go in more detail on that. And she was up 2-1 in the second. So it was the fourth meeting between Texas A&M and Georgia this year. And I'm going to just make this clear. Texas A&M's only defeated them one time, and that was in College Station. As we all know, it was in Waco, Texas, so it was really a home court advantage. But was it really? And it may surprise you. Georgia started out strong. At number 2 doubles, Gigi Grant and Anastasia Lapata defeated Lexington Reed and Darius Mendikoff 6-2. So A&M had to win the other 2 doubles matches to get the 1-0 lead. Guess what? That didn't happen. Mert and Mulberry from Georgia beat Nicole Kieran and Luciana Perez 7-5. Now, number 1 was a DNF, Mia Kupris and Mary Stoyana from Texas A&M and Riasco and Villanova from Georgia. It was 6-5. Georgia was up. That was a DNF. Now, what happened first in singles? Well, believe it or not, Dasha Villanova beat Mary Stoyana. She has not done that this year, and it was a tight match. 6-4, 6-4. And that was the only match that really finished in straight sets. You'll know why later, because at number 2 singles, Anastasia Lapata beat Nicole Kieran 0-6, 6-4, 6-2. So 3-0 lead for Georgia. Thus, A&M had to win everything else to win the national title. Simply put, it did not happen. Sophia Rojas beat Lexington Reed at number 6 5-7, 6-3, 6-2. I would say Gigi Grant was a DNF at number 5. She won the first set 6-1, but lost the second set 7-6, 7-5 in the tiebreaker. And Mert from Georgia won at number 4, won the first set against Lexington Perez 7-6, 11-9 in a tiebreaker, but it was 5-all in the second. Now number 3 was Mel Riasco was a DNF, and she lost the first set 3-6 to Mia Kupris, but Riasco did win the second set 6-1, and Mia Kupris was up 5-4. So this is Georgia's first national title in 25 years, and the third one overall. So obviously, Georgia finishes the year at 29-3. while Texas A&M finished 30-4. Really good years for both of those programs, but obviously you don't want to be the runner-up. And I actually pulled up like the roster stuff, like potentially down the line, and as well as recruiting. And granted, some of these players may not have played this year due to injury. So how many? I'm going to start like with Georgia, and it's not in any particular order here. And they do lose Mel Riasco, and I will say Narendran from Georgia did not play at all this year, and they will also lose Dasha Villanova. So definitely two, and Grant as well. So 3 starters, and maybe Narendran is going to get that medical redshirt this year, and not only that, they were down one other player for the year. I mean, she did not play, and it was Alexandra Vecic, but she was a junior. And this was exact revenge from last year's national title match. Exact revenge. And Georgia does bring in. Okay, I try to get to it. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 players, and this is pending transfer portal as well on those losses for everybody. As we all know, the transfer portal opened like during the week of the Sweet 16 matches on May 5th. Yeah, actually, yeah, May 5th was the first one, and all this. So now I'm going to go over Duke, and who knows about players turning pro in general, and transfer portal. Of course, players turning pro for all these teams here. So who knows about that? Yeah, Duke has 2 seniors on the roster, and they bring in only like 1. And I know there's transfer portal gets for, like, example, Oklahoma State. They already got the UCF core 1, and in addition, I do know North Carolina is actually getting former Oklahoma State and Iowa State player Angela B. Kajiru. She did not play this year. I just don't know why. But just to let y'all know on that situation. Now, and I do wish for North Carolina women on the women's side good luck for Reese Brentmeyer on recovery, because she did not play after the Elite 8 match, and like a year before she was out from like National Indoor Tournament on due to injury. And yeah, they only have 2 seniors, North Carolina does. Now how many seniors? I mean, how many players coming in for sure? Yeah, North Carolina definitely has 1 freshman coming in, but like I said, they already got a transfer. Now LSU they had the best year, one of the better years in program history, as we all know. But who knows about some of those younger players up top? They could very well turn pro. And I know Florentine Deckers was a senior, and she only hardly played. So I don't know if she's really going to leave and be done or not. So in all this. Yeah, they also lose ncaa as well, who was at Baylor. But that's a definite loss there, and Gabby Rivera had to step in as well. So two seniors for sure, maybe three, and this is not like two other players that could very well turn pro for LSU, for all we know. And I do know LSU has to replace an assistant coach. So I thought, but yeah, LSU does bring in like two players for next year. Now A&M, you definitely lose Mary Stoyana. She's done. That was like the question a year ago, if she was really going to come back, because she was really up there in terms of the rankings. Of course, they do have like Jeanette Morales, but she didn't hardly play. And same thing goes for Gounder. So yeah, that's only like 1, 2, 3 seniors. And like I said, this is pending transfer portal and players turning pro. Now A&M does bring in 2 players. They do. But it's going to be hard to replace like a Mary Stoyana on your team, if we're just being honest. Because it's not easy losing your top player. Now I'm going to go over Tennessee. And back-to-back years, Elite 8, or a little bit further. That's pretty good for them. And I definitely know for a fact that Tennessee women's tennis did lose their associate head coach, but he's going to take a different job somewhere else. Yeah, the only player really for Tennessee they're really going to lose is Tomase, and she's like a court 1 type. Everybody else potentially could return. That's definitely helpful. And they do bring in a lot. I mean, actually, that was like last year. That's last year's freshman class. So none for this year. Now for Michigan, after this is only like one more school to go over. So I apologize it's taking a little bit long, but I wanted to go over like the roster outlook, pending transfer portal, and players turning pro. So Julia Flinger is definitely one senior, but that's the only senior I see for the roster for Michigan. The only one, which is huge, but that's court 1. They do bring in 1 player for sure. Now Oklahoma State, I definitely know when you look at the social media, like their redshirt junior, Amber Hofstadter, she doesn't hardly play. She was on her senior day, so I think she's gone. And like I said, Angel Bikajuru, she's definitely out of there. Definitely. And Kylie Collins as well. She was a grad transfer from LSU that was actually at Texas prior, and she did not play at LSU a year ago due to injuries. And like I said, they did add the UCF Court 1 And who knows about their Court 1 and 2, will they turn pro or not? And Melissa Urcon and that one player that was at LSU prior to a year ago, Anastasia Komar. And I know Angel B. Kajuru is definitely gone. She was not even on her own senior day. And you got to keep in mind for this Oklahoma State team, they were down Luciana Pyre all year long just to recover from that torn ACL she had in the Sweet 16 match a year ago. So you got to keep that in mind, and they do not have any freshmen as of right now for the 2025 class. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens to all these teams in terms of transfer portal, not just losses but additions. Because I already mentioned some already. And not only that, will players turn pro or not? Because that is a question. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens from here. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Course ultimate goal is 1,000 or more. So my money at this course, like the video, comment here, really helps YouTube background. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. Some more people could watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button for the notification bell as well.